My stage name is Jarry L. Basically, it's my first name and then my last name, Laurent, Jarry L. It's nothing special, um, and it's just simple. Nobody's ever heard it. It's not Little Jerry or Young Jerry like typical hip hop names. I've been doing music since grade nine. How it all started was my buddy Shramal. He still raps today. He just texted me one day and he's like, "Man, let's make a song." And then I was like, "Yeah, let's just do it. Let's go with it." And then he sends me a beat. It was actually Tupac's beat. It was like "Last Motherfucker Breathing." And then I was like, "Okay." It's like, "Just make a hook." And then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna make a hook." At this point in my life, when I first started, I didn't know anything about music. I knew practically nothing. So all I did was write lyrics. I didn't even go on beat. I was off beat. I didn't even like hit my rhymes on the 2 and the 4. And that's how it initially started, with me recording on my webcam and just sending it over to Shramal while he edits it. But he had no idea. When I first started music, or just doing anything, or being intrigued by music, was I started off just not even making beats, but just writing poems. I started writing poems like crazy. I was that weird little introverted kid in high school that never spoke to anybody. Always in his journal book or writing book or whatever, math book, writing lyrics, just thinking of ways, new ways to rhyme, new patterns, syllables, compound rhymes, I should say, and just finding new ways to navigate through a song, throughout pockets or patterns throughout the beat. And I thought that was very fascinating, along with the aspect that you actually get to express yourself in a creative fashion. Some people like to draw, some people like to paint. Personally, I like to just make music or listen to a beat. I think that's the best way artists or musicians can express themselves, where others express themselves through drawing or abstract painting. And that's why I really appreciate music, and that's where the love stems from. The music I'm influenced by is not your typical artist's way of being influenced by music. Honestly, I'm influenced by a lot of classical music, like jazz, Bach, Chopin, Beethoven, just to name a few, and Jack Johnson. I really love Jack Johnson's chord progressions. All my influence is not even hip hop. Hip hop's just a way for me to express myself, and a lot of my inspiration comes from outside of the hip hop genre, and I just go from there. Where can you find Jarry L's music? You can't find it anywhere unless I personally give it to you or email it to you. I think it's kind of weird that you have to like promote yourself, because honestly, it seems like you have an ego, or you're like, "Oh, look at my shit, like this is the latest track." It kind of seems weird, where I prefer like somebody else to just like, "Oh, word of mouth." If you're listening into a car and your buddy's playing a song of mine, it's like, "Who is this?" It's Jarry L. That'd be sweet. Like, if they want my music from that, that's awesome. I prefer to go that route rather than me always like trying to push my music on other people. "Check this out. This is what I'm doing." I feel it's kind of weird to promote for yourself, and that's just ego based to me. What do I think of MHS? I think it's good. I think it's a more personal and intimate level where you can actually get to know and expose, I guess, local artists or people who like don't really necessarily go out of their way to show people their music. And it's a really good place to start. Basically, I think it's a more intimate and more unique and more authentic way of doing things rather than going through the corporate route. And to me, it seems a little bit more honest and sincere. If Jarry L ever makes it big anywhere, like Canada, US, or even if it's just mild success, my first interview was here, MHS. A lot of hip hop artists in Saskatoon, and I don't mean any disrespect, but they obviously all talk about the same things: money, drugs, hoes, yada, yada, yada. Like, I get that, that's cool, that's where you started, and that's what you hear in hip hop. But with my music, with Jarry L's music, I think it's a little bit more personal. And I know a lot of people like to say things that people relate to, but my music comes across honestly different, and it doesn't sound your typical a hip hop music. Jarry L's music, it's personal, and he personifies, or I personify, certain attributes, certain personal qualities as like figures. In one song, it's a vampire, another, it's an alien, and sometimes it's just deeply personal, plain and simple. And that's what I think my music has become and still is and still gonna grow to be. I got this. First time I made a record, or first time I made a complete, this is Jarry L's album or mixtape or whatever. I call them mixtapes. In the hip hop community, it's mixtapes. I made 12 songs and all I did was record them on a beat, and that was it. I didn't know anything about production, nothing about editing, no synthesizers, no equalizers, no hard limiting, nothing. And I just gave it out. And this is where music actually started to take a turn for me personally. I gave it to one of my friends, Jason Durgo, and then he gave it to his buddy Carson, who's like a sweet guitarist. Greatest guitarist I know personally to this day. And he gave it to Carson, and then Carson caught me in the hallways of high school and he's like, man, Jerry, that stuff that you had on the records was like sweet, but honestly it was garbage. The song I'm gonna do is it's called Appreciated. I wrote it exactly a year ago, actually, from this day, and it's basically detailing a personal relationship I had with someone very special, and then it came out like this, and it essentially describes, from my point of view, our relationship and how I viewed it. I'm Jarry L, and I'm gonna play Appreciated. Yeah, I'm drinking out tea, son. Here we go. You rekindle the flame. I'm a cold heart stain with a bloodlust baby, and it rusted when it rained. And I'm a strange soul, and you found it on the go. And you really oughta know I was hesitant to show you and everybody else my true colors, cause they ain't like the others, except my space brothers. It's Jarry L of Mars, beyond the moon and stars, to check my Martian scars from your fossil fuel cars. Now let me take you back when I told you I could rap, and all you did was laugh like you thought I was all whack. But it's fine, it's okay, you caught me on a slow day, but let's not forget the day we first met. Now let's reset the mind, turn back the hands of time. We felt the situation now like we're both blind, as I'm kissing on your lips and hugging on your hips. I can feel your heart beating and can tell when it skips. Yeah, alright. It was special like a birth ring, my favorite little earthling, the one true cutie with absolute beauty. Beam me up, Scotty, cause we're headed to the stars. I got my earth woman and I'll bring her back to ours. But let me spit the fact that they'll never get her back. If you wonder where we're at, just check your star map. We're light years away, through the gamma ray, where the stars come to play and the aliens are gray. But let's take some time to sit and reminisce with a sight subtle bliss in your sweet lemon kiss. Let me tell you something that you've never really known. You've let me in your heart and it kinda feels like home. And I ain't gonna lie, it kinda feels cozy, like it really knows me, but it doesn't know me. Nothing, not a thing, nothing to my name, but let me say I'm there, cause I really do care, Yeah. I know that I don't express it a lot, but you are appreciated. Yeah, that's it.